Hi, I recently became interested in purchasing a Protech automatic knife, and since I have a birthday coming up, and I found out they're legal in Tennessee and have been for 4 years now. I don't know how I missed that, but decided to start shopping for one. Had a hard time picking one out because they're not available in the shops that we have around here. The models I was interested in anyway. And went to a gun and knife show. They weren't there either. There weren't that many videos online, so I ended up just ordering multiples and plan to choose from that. So in the meantime, I thought I'd go ahead and make a video for everyone else that might be considering the same thing. I have an everyday carry knife that I've had for over a decade now, a little Spyderco. Open, it's less than 5.5 inches. 2.3 blade length, I believe, and it's been great. I got the serrated edge just because at the time it looked better to me. Looking back, flat edge probably would have been more useful, but it's been great. I use it for opening boxes and packages mostly. Never sharpened it, and yet it's still sharp. Anyway, decided to move on to automatic knives. I was looking at the TR-5, which is a smaller version of the TR-4 from Protech, and also the Protech Strider collaboration, the PT, the smaller of the two. There's also an SMG that I wasn't really interested in. It's a little too big. I like smaller knives for an everyday carry to keep in my pocket, so I don't want to fill it there. I don't want it to get in the way until I need it, and then I want it to just be there. As it is, PT is pretty much perfect. When I first saw a picture of it, I wasn't really interested because the design just didn't make sense to me. Whereas this is one of the nicest knives I've ever seen. I mean, it is just beautiful. I love the design. I love the way the blade looks. I love everything about it, except it's just a little too big, a little too heavy. Even though it's the smaller version of the TR-4, it's a wonderful knife, really snappy. It just pops on out there. The one thing that I don't like about the design is this safety switch right here. Being that it is bigger and it has the deep pocket carry clip, when I pull it out, my thumb's about right here. I go reaching for the button, and this is a really rough filling safety. My finger slides up and it stops me, and I find myself trying to push that in a situation where I was trying to get to a knife really fast. I'm afraid that that would stop me from actually getting to the button. Otherwise, I love the design. Both these knives have the same deep pocket carry clip here, the same length. I do wish they were a little bit shorter, because when you put them in your pant pocket, you've got that much of the clip showing, and you know, my old knife had that much clip showing, and it really disappeared into your pocket. These kind of poke out from underneath your shirt, even if you're wearing a t-shirt that's covering it up. This knife is thinner. The PT, it's thinner than the TR-5 by a little bit. It's much lighter. Really does a good job of disappearing into my pocket and just staying there until I need it. When I ordered it, and I had these two knives coming to choose between on my birthday, I ordered the, it's called a Knurled finish on the scales. Gives it really good grip. I like it, but I had never felt it before, and I was just guessing that I would like it. A couple days after I ordered it, I realized the way I pin this into my pocket, I reach underneath it to get my car key all the time, and I thought, if that is really, really rough, like the old Strider knives, they had a really rough finish. It might rip the skin off my hand, and so I also ordered the one that just had the plain scales. And in order to see something different as well, I ordered the DLC finish. Unfortunately, they sent me the wrong knife that also has the knurled scales, but it does have the DLC finish on the blade. Um, I saw a picture of this setup with the black knife, the black finish, and it looked incredible. In person, I don't like it as much. It's just a little bit, if it was blacker, I would probably like it more. It's a little less black than I thought it would be. And looks wise, I think I like the Stonewash finish better. I was a little apprehensive about the Stonewash finish before I saw it in person, because some of the brands I saw with a Stonewash finish, they were really dull and scratchy looking. Protech is not like that. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's really smooth. It does have, in the finish, the micro scratches that the Stonewash is famous for, but they don't really show up. I mean, just looking at it, it looks like a slightly duller middle mirror finish, like my old knife had, but not as reflective, which would be great in a self-defense situation. I do like the way they did the blacked out hardware on the knife with the DLC finish, but this is the one I'm going to keep. I would love to have been able to keep this, just the looks long, and how it comes out a lot stronger, well, a little stronger than the PT does. I love the shape of the blade. That's just really nice. I love the shape of the handle. This part, I mean, everything about it is nice, except I would do away with that safety if I could. I put it in my jeans pocket, clipped it on. Walking around, it's just heavy enough that you could feel it. It's 3.5 ounces versus 2.5 on this one, a full ounce lighter. It's a little bit thicker than the PT, and it just a little too long. I could feel it in my pocket walking around. I could feel it whenever I sat down, and it was just long enough that it would poke on your pocket and make it stand out a little bit and just kind of get in the way. Beautiful knife, beautiful knife. I love it, but I'm not going to keep it. So going back to the winner of the two, I was also afraid a little bit that this part in the pictures looks like it would snag on your pocket every time you put it in. That doesn't happen. It's actually fairly smooth, and it's never caught on my pocket. Two other knives I was interested in was the Protech Newport and the Protech Sprint. I hadn't seen either in person until recently. I finally found them at a local shop. The Sprint I was interested in because it was pretty close to my old everyday carry, only turned out to be a lot smaller. I mean, it just looks really small in person. If you live in California, it's the biggest you can get for an automatic knife legally, but and carry. But it just wasn't something I was interested in. The Newport, it's about the length of one of these PTs, but it's really slender. Didn't really appeal to me much either. It really came down to these two. The design on the PT, after I got it, it makes more sense now. I mean, holding it, this goes right up against the palm of your hand. If you're holding it like this, if you're holding it up here, it's comfortable. Pretty much any way you hold it, it's comfortable and secure and nice. And I like it a lot. The DLC finish, I watched a video, and as far as cutting through boxes and aluminum cans and things like that, even wood, the blade lasted a lot longer with less wear on it with the DLC finish. But I don't normally do that kind of thing with my knives. I usually use it to open plastic packages, tape on boxes, that kind of thing. I really don't even cut cardboard with it. I just open the boxes with it by cutting the tape. It's mostly just to keep around because I get really frustrated trying to open plastic containers and bags and things that just do not want to open. I guess that's about it. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment section. I'll try to answer. But otherwise, yeah, you just got to pick whatever knife is good for you, for your situation. The blade on the PT, this part doesn't look as nice to me as this part, but it's nice enough. I do love the way they made this blade. Like I said, I love everything about this knife except the safety, the size, and the weight. I think if they made a mini version of this one, like one size smaller, closer to the size of the PT, it would probably be the perfect knife, but looks wise and utility wise, and the smaller could go without the safety there. Kind of like they did with the S&G and the PT on the Strider version. But you know, for some people this is going to be perfect. Or for most people probably. I'm just very picky, and that was very sharp. Wish I hadn't touched it there. That's all. Thanks.